Well, perhaps Martin Lewis is here now. Perhaps it's time for a new bank account, which can offer you something a little bit better.
So, Martin, we're going to start with what a lot of people would think of as a bit of a nightmare, changing your bank account.
You've probably heard horror stories about this, but what I would do, if anyone tells you a horror story about switching bank, ask when. And the likelihood is it will be over 3 years ago, which is when the switching guarantee was introduced. And that draws a big line and a big divide. It is so much easier now than it's ever been before. And you've got to remember, right now, this is a great time to be doing it because in January there's huge price competition. They will bribe you, legal bribes, to get you to switch. They'll pay you up to 200 quid of free cash. They'll give you 5% interest on your savings. They'll give you insurance worth 600 quid. And there are many people out there who are happy with their banks, but if you're happy with it, ask what it's giving you. Could I be just as happy elsewhere? And if you're not happy because it's one of the most complained about sectors, stop bitching, start switching, because this will pay you to do so, so why not do it? So here's what happens when you switch. All your standing orders and direct debits are moved for you as long as you use the switching guarantee. Your old account is closed for you, and any payments made to it are then auto-forwarded to your new account.
So you don't have to do an awful lot,
Don't really have to do anything at all. I mean, there is no deal. 76% of people who I've asked who've tried this, when I've done Twitter polls and things on it, say it's easy and hassle-free. Of most of the rest of them have had a couple of little niggles that they thought annoyed them, but that's most people find it absolutely a doddle. So that 3 years, when you hear a bad story, ask when. And it's probably over 3 years ago.
All right, let's talk about free cash.
Yep.
That's always a nice thing to talk about.
OK, so the top pair is HSBC Advance account that pays you £150 when you join it, and then as long as you've banked at least once online, if you're with it after a year, you get another 50 quid. So that's £200 for switching to it, and it's got a 5% linked regular savings account. A good alternative with a higher customer service rating is the Co-op, which pays you £110 for joining it, but then has this ongoing everyday reward scheme. Now, the everyday reward scheme pays you up to £5.50 a month. There's a few hoops to jump through, but it's basically like online banking or mobile banking, things people will do anyway. So that's a pretty good deal. You know, after the first year, you'd be on nearly 170 quid and it continues afterwards. And the other option I'd throw in there is First Direct that pays 100 quid, though there are ways to get more on various comparison sites. Pays you 100 quid, has a 5% linked regular savings account, so you can earn 5% on a small amount of savings each month, and a 0% overdraft, and has won every customer service poll I have ever done, and I've been doing them for years, has over a 90% great rating. Very easy. The only thing you have to remember on all of these, you will be credit scored. Shouldn't be a problem for most people. It's not very harsh. You will have to meet their terms, which usually involves paying in a set amount of money each month, effectively just a way of putting your salary in. So with the HSBC one, that's quite high. It's £17.50 a month, so you need a pretty decent salary for that. The others are lower, and you will have to use the switching service to get it, but it's free money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free money. Just get it. If you're overdrawn and you're with First Direct, it'll give you 100 quid and it has a 250 quid 0% overdraft. Most people are paying far more than that.
What would be the circumstances that you wouldn't be accepted?
Anybody who's had a really bad credit history, lots of CCJs being bankrupt in the past, would probably not get one of these. But it's not like a credit card where, you know, it's much tougher to get a decent credit card rate. As long as you've not had too many big problems, it should be fine.
It should be all right.
What about savers?
Right, savers. Well, the other type of big perk out there is high interest on savings accounts. Now, bank accounts have been doing this for 3 or 4 years. I used to say don't keep your money in a bank account. Now, actually, on certain bank accounts, you can get by far the best rates on the market. To give you a benchmark, the top easy access normal savings account pays 1%. So my top pick bank account for savers is the Bank of Scotland Advance account that pays 3% interest on up to 5,000. You have to have over 3,000 and up to 5,000 in it. But the key to this account is you can have 3 of them. So that's 3% on £15,000. So if you've got savings, and 15, for those who have savings, 15,000 isn't that much. It always gets confused. There'll be a lot of people out there, whenever we do phones in, 15,000, you know, people ask about hundreds of thousands. So £15,000 you could have 3% in. Here's how you have to do it, though. Go with me. So you've got 3 bank accounts. You have to open 3. To meet them, each has to have 2 direct debits coming out of it. So make sure you've got direct debits paying somewhere. You could even set up a direct debit for £1 a month to charity to fulfil the conditions if you wanted. And you have to have £1,000 a month going in. So bank account 1, bank account 2, bank account 3. You pay the £1,000 a month into bank account 1. You do a standing order 2 days later to get it going into bank account 2. Standing order 2 days later to get it into bank account 3, and then back to the beginning.
That's complicated, isn't it?
And if that's too complicated for you, then the Santander 123 account pays 1.5% on up to £20,000.
There's a big difference.
There's a £5 a month fee, but it does give you cash back on your bills, and if you pay your bills through it, that can be a pretty decent amount. If you just want a bills account, by the way, NatWest Rewards, with NatWest Rewards, you pay it £3 a month, it gives you 3% cash back on all your bills, and most people will make cash out of that as well.
OK, and there are some freebies available, including home insurance and things like that.
This is if you're willing to pay for a bank account. Nationwide Flex Plus. If you use travel insurance, it gives you family worldwide travel insurance, covers all the family's mobile phone bills. Now think mobile phone insurance.
Oh,
Mobile phone insurance, sorry. Whoop, mistake. Mobile phone insurance, but still that's £200-300 a year if you've got a family of 4 and they've all got smartphones. And European breakdown cover for £10 a month. If you'd use those insurance products, £10 a month is £120 a year. That's £600 a year of insurance.
That's big saving.
Yeah, and by the way, while we're talking about credit scores, my show 8 o'clock tonight, How to Slash the Cost of All Debts. 8 o'clock, ITV tonight. Set the Video Plus or the Betamax. Do it now.
Well done.
Nicely done.